Hello, everyone. I'm Brito, and I'd like to say something about what peace is about. Very often, we use the word a bit like an abstract thing. Where is it? Where can we find it? What does it look like? Who's got it? Can I have some? So, what I'd like to offer is we can make it. We can find it ourselves. And so, we've got this slogan: keep calm. How do you do that? How do you change your normal body's reaction to something that's really difficult to experience or receive? So, here are some ideas. Difficult things are happening all the time. You can be feeling great, having a lovely day, enjoying yourself. And life goes up and it goes down. Things happen that are uplifting, and some things are reducing the mood, lowering the mood. How can we talk about those things in such a way that we don't feel thrown around by outside circumstances? What's really valuable is to feel that even when the circumstances and situations around us are very difficult, that we have some kind of agency to act in a peaceful way. And this is often the hardest thing that people talk about in my trainings. It's great to talk about behaving in a peaceful way, but how do you do that when something really difficult is happening to you, around you, within you? So let's think about it. How does it work? Here you are, and something's coming in, some really difficult experience. Somebody says something or does something, and our body responds with some kind of sensation. We often bypass those sensations um, and go straight into, oh, that's terrible. It's bad. I've got to fix it. I've got to control everything. I can't cope with this. I don't want it. Or sometimes people come forward into action. Sometimes we step back and go, oh, that's too much. Can't deal with that. I've got to go. Or sometimes there's freezing and being numb, where we simply wait for the sense of danger to pass. There are other reactions, and when we react in that way, we feel a bit defeated because sometimes we can't make other people take different actions. So one of the things that we can do with that is to take responsibility for our own feelings. Feelings arise when we feel sensations in our body around something that's difficult. Obviously, we have feelings when things are not difficult. So I wanted to talk about where we want to make peace exist more in our lives. And the best place for that to happen is within us. Obviously, we tend to regulate and co-regulate with people around us, and we kind of long for some companionship in this experience. And we can do that. We can have companionship by joining trainings where other people are also practicing. So, talking about how difficult it is to show up peacefully in the middle of a storm, what we can do is practice feeling peaceful so that we can deal with the storm more effectively without falling down and feeling a sense of defeat or despair. So, how can we do that? Well, we can feel the ground. That's one way. Notice that the ground is beneath us, beneath our seats and our feet, and notice it's supporting us and has done every single day of our lives. Letting our spine be balanced as we sink into the support of the ground. And notice that that's what we're doing. Allow ourselves to simply rest in groundedness. Be aware of what's around us and accept that it is the way that it is. There are noises around, other frustrating things, simply to accept that that's the way they are. Notice our breathing. Simply notice how it is. We don't have to breathe a particular way, and simply to allow the breath to come in and the breath to come out. And to relax the core of your body. Relax your jaw. Let your tongue hang loose. Relax your chest and your belly. There is nothing that needs to be held in tightly. And when we're in a place of grounded awareness and presence, we are much more powerful and more equipped to take action that serves us. Because very often when we don't react in a peaceful way, we can end up feeling worse. So we get some resources, okay? That's what grounding is about. We're part of the whole universe. So as we connect to the universe, every molecule in our body has come from somewhere else, from stars. So a sense of that connection is really strengthening and supportive. It's also great to imagine something that makes your heart smile, somebody you love, and just notice how your heart softens when you think about that person or animal, place. And that's what peace is really like, softening the heart and being present with a soft heart rather than a tight, rigid, covered in armor kind of heart. So I'm not saying we don't need to vent our frustrations. Of course we do. And it's great if we say to people, look, I've really got to vent about this thing. Do you mind listening to me? I just need to go on about it for a while and get it out of my system by articulating it. Okay, that's fine. As long as the other person consents to hear you and we're not saying things that are difficult for people to hear, because that would indeed bring about a lack of peace in the other person. So when we've learned a bit more about practicing how to do peace in ourselves, how to accept that stuff around us is difficult and unpleasant sometimes, how to accept that those difficult and unpleasant things evoke reactions in ourselves that are painful. And some of us have been carrying painful things around in many layers for years, stuck in our muscles and nerves and tissues and connective tissues. So when we start practicing relaxing, maybe visualizing painful places beginning to melt and flow, and little by little finding words to express ourselves towards others and towards ourselves and our own pain, not of judging ourselves as bad or good or wrong or right, not of blaming and finding fault, not of criticizing, but to say, yes, it's like this. It's painful. Yes. Yes, it is. And I want to really care for that pain. So we need a bit of time for this kind of thing. And it's really, really great to have companionship, to be accompanied in settling into grounded awareness and peaceful presence with compassion for what we're experiencing alongside others. And of course, inevitably, as we practice, we're going to get better at it. And that's what we'd really like. So, peace is about finding a way to feel more peaceful when we feel tensions and knots and tangles arising in our bodies. Noticing that our brain wants to respond really quickly and saying, hold on there, let me just come back in and feel that reaction. And noticing it and the words we give to our feelings to say, yeah, it's like that. And I want to have compassion for all that. I can't stop all those things happening, but I can regulate the way that I react. And then I'm going to be more resourced and equipped to take some new action that might serve me. And that might simply be being around other people, choosing people who are doing trainings and willing to practice alongside you. I teach embodiment and nonviolent communication. And I'm really interested in creating a loving relationship between our thoughts and words and our hearts, feelings, and letting them be present in me as a whole being rather than divided parts. I can listen to all those things, acknowledge that they are real and they are part of me, and that I invite them all to soften. So I'm offering something about feeling, softening within the body as a way of being peaceful that we can practice. And the more that we practice, the more we can show up peacefully when difficult things happen. And that means we can listen to our own difficulty, and we can also listen to other people from a place of peace with curiosity, care, instead of fighting. And violence comes from not having our own sense of authority for who we are and feeling that other circumstances are pushing us around and wanting us to act in someone else's way and not from our own truth. And there are many things in our systems and cultures that support acting in other people's ways and not finding our own truths. So I hope that my offering here has had some meaning for you, and you can find me on Facebook as Ronhild de Brito, and in my Powerful Embodied Peace Facebook page, which tells you about the work I do in embodiment and nonviolent communication. Also with grief, because grief is a way of responding to things that don't go well and we can't fix them. Thank you for hearing me. Bye for now. Look forward to hearing from you later.